Name's AaronFreesmeier. Just wanted to give you guys some tips for training for the Try the Gulf. Some top tips that you can put into practice when training would be making sure, one, you're getting ready for the mileage. Definitely you don't want to show up to race day and it be the first time you're running a 5K or 3.1 miles. That also includes familiarizing yourself with the course, getting to know where the turns are, maybe looking at a course map online, paying attention to what the weather may be that time of year so you're prepared for all the elements. Some other great tips would be, training with the nutrition you're planning to use on race day. So you don't want to get yourself out on the run course and try a goo for the first time or a Gatorade for the first time. You want to make sure that you've tried these things before and that they don't upset your stomach and that they're going to be the nutrition and fuel that you choose to use to help power you through to the finish. Another great tip might be to choose to get professionally fitted for a pair of shoes. So again, you don't want any new surprises on race day. So you don't want to be buying your shoes maybe a few days out from race day. You want to make sure you've bought them a few months at least, hopefully at the beginning of your training cycle, so you have plenty of time to break them in, plenty of time to let your body get used to the support, plenty of time to make sure they're not going to give you any issues or blisters or things like that. Another tip that coincides with good shoes is making sure you have a good pair of socks. There's plenty of great socks on the market that don't incorporate any cotton in the material. Cotton is one of the biggest race day killers. It will create hot spots, it will trap moisture, and especially being close to the water and even the salt water where things just seem to be more humid and sticky, you don't want to blister on your feet, completely derailing your race. Another tip that you could put into practice is making sure you have a game plan. So I always try to tell people come to me for advice that make sure you have an A, B, C plan. A being, this is how my training went, this is exactly how I want my race to go, and this is how I'm going to execute it. B might be a small element pops up that you didn't expect. So there was no rain in the forecast, but it starts to rain. So you've got to settle back into a slower pace in the run because the ground is wet, or some of the off-road ground at the Try the Gulf is a little bit sloppy, or the sand gets a little bit sticky coming out of transition. So things that might slow you down, but you still have a B goal in mind, and you're prepared for that. C being everything goes wrong, and you just know how to make sure to finish the race, suffer through the elements, and make sure you cross the finish line healthy and not injured. So setting an ABC goal can go a long ways to help keep your mindset focused on the goal of finishing. Another tip I'd like to give you is to make sure you control your pacing. So this includes practicing transition in your training, so coming off the bike and going into your run. A lot of people call this a brick workout. Getting used to that feeling when you step off the bike and begin to start your run, getting your legs turned over, getting the blood flowing, blowing out the lactic acid, and making sure you're not going too fast too early. So it's real easy to have this sensation or feeling of numb legs coming off of a bike ride. And as you get going, you might not realize how fast you're actually moving. So if you're using a GPS watch, pay attention to your pace. If you run by heart rate, pay attention to your heart rate. But mostly, don't jump off the bike and try to run 10, 20, 30 seconds faster than what your goal pace was that you set in your A, B, and C goals before you started the race. Hopefully the tips that I've given you today are things that you can put into practice during your training. While there's many more tips out there, I encourage you to search those out, whether it be your training partner, something on the internet, maybe a blog. But most importantly, make sure you're having fun during training, stay focused on your goals, and be sure to finish out the race strong.